Many ages ago, I competed in a category that, in my opinion, taught me more about mountain biking than any other category I have raced in. But I always had this nagging feeling that that was some of my favorite times on a mountain bike, some of the most fun I've ever had. And due to scheduling conflicts, last year in January, I once again registered for this category, and it reminded me why this is one of the best things you can do to really hone in some mountain bike skills and fitness. So really quickly before I get into it and let you know what I'm actually talking about here, if you like this kind of content, please like, subscribe, hit the little bell notification. That helps a lot. I did, at the behest of some of my friends that told me about this, I signed up for the Amazon affiliate thing. So down below, any link you see, really the flow links, anything like that, to Amazon, if you click on them, you purchase something, it gives me commission off of it. I'm not pushing you to do this. Please, guys, go support your local bike shops, but I figured if somebody's gonna buy something off of Amazon anyway, and you wanna support me, this is an easy way to do it. Thank you guys so much. Let's get into it. The category that I am talking about at the moment, if you could not guess, is single speed. But in today's video, I really want to try to convince you why you should get a single speed mountain bike. One sec. So I don't actually have like blackout curtains. I've got this like jerry-rigged thing up there to kind of block some of the light off of my light that I have over there, and yeah, just fell on my head. It's all right. But let me convince you. If you get a mountain bike like this, you are going to gain skill, fitness, and sanity. If you are unindoctrinated, you might be asking me, what the heck is a single speed mountain bike? So to put it quite simply, it is exactly what it says. You only have one gear. You can take a lot of mountain bikes. You can take any hardtail essentially and turn it into a single speed. If you want to try single speed out, pick your favorite gear on your bike, leave it there, don't shift. Most mountain bikes now have 12 gears on them. This is the art of picking the correct gear for the correct trail, never coming out of it. So a true single speed mountain bike will only have one cog. So a lot of people, and I kind of think this is somewhat kind of cheating, but whatever, I really don't care. But some people actually just take their batteries off of the new SRAM derailleurs. It'll lock it in, you can't shift. So for all intents and purposes, if you want to try single speed, a lot of races will let you do that. And a lot of people look at single speeders and they're like, you're nuts. We invented gears for a reason. We invented gears over 100 years ago on the bicycle. Why would you want to go back to using only one of them? There's a few reasons. The first two reasons I'm going to lump together. We're going to talk about your skills and your fitness. A single speed mountain bike is a beautiful tool that will force you to learn new skills. I actually love the single speed because it really makes it seem more like it is you versus the trail. You no longer have gears that you can rely on to get you up a steep climb. Or better yet, you know, when you pop over a slick route on a climb and you make sure you are geared low enough to not lose the traction. If you screw up, you no longer have that luxury. On a single speed, you have to be sure your line choice is perfect when climbing so you don't have that happen to you. Also, you want to carry as much momentum and speed as you possibly can going into a climb, because the longer you can stay over the top of the pedals, the better off you're going to be. And all of this translates perfectly onto a geared mountain bike. So if you get a single speed mountain bike, one of the best things it teaches you is the skills that go along with keeping momentum and speed. What does that translate to when you go back to a geared mountain bike? It translates to energy conservation. You don't know how many times I've ridden with somebody that comes from like Cat 1 road cycling, never really did a lot of mountain biking. They can't keep up in the woods to save their life. And it is on relatively easy XC mountain bike trails that they can't keep up on. Although they could rip your legs off on the road, and then when they get like a tiny bit of skill, they are slobbering all over themselves to keep up with you in the woods, and you're just pedaling along at a 140 heart rate. So skills in the woods, your momentum, your speed, all of that plays into a huge factor on conservation of energy. You do have to be fit if you're racing in like a Cat 1 or Pro category, don't get me wrong, but you have to have skills to go along with it. And to me, one of the quickest ways to learn, especially if you don't have somebody helping you, especially if you don't have a coach, One of the best, easiest ways to learn how to keep speed and keep momentum is get you a single speed. Really, there's this joke in the single speed community that actually there's 3 gears on a single speed. You have standing, you have sitting, and you have walking. And if you don't learn how to keep momentum on a single speed, you're gonna be doing the third option quite a bit. You're gonna be walking your butt off. Now, as for fitness goes, I would say that is pretty self-explanatory. There's no easy way to get up a climb anymore. You have to either walk or muscle your way up. Also, if you pick the wrong gear for the wrong trail, you're gonna be mashing those pedals like nobody's business. So like I said, you are gaining a lot of skill and a lot of fitness just by simply riding a single speed. I also love the act of having to pick a gear for a trail. No longer when you go and you try to pre-ride a course, are you simply thinking about great line choices. You're really trying to figure out what is the perfect gear for this trail. You need something easy enough to where you can actually make it up and over those climbs, but if you pick a gear that is too low, then whenever it gets to an open section where you can really push the pace and haul butt, you're gonna be spun out and you're not gonna have that top end. You need to be able to at least sprint a little bit. So there's all these factors you have to think about. It really adds another layer to course preparation when you're racing, which I like. I think that that is a blast. Now, I also want to go into why you want a single speed for winter training. This is the sanity portion. A single speed is extremely simple. Typically, it's going to be a hardtail. You can convert some full suspension bikes to single speed, but you can convert any hardtail to a single speed. You just need a singulator and a single speed kit. 2 things to say on that. It's more simple. You have less to worry about when it does get muddy and you get stuff gunked up. Your stuff isn't going to get worn out near as bad. The chains are thicker, so they're not going to wear out near as easily. And you just don't have to worry about a hardtail single speed versus a full suspension geared bike. You can beat and bang this thing and it's gonna keep on trucking. You don't have to worry about shifting gears. But another thing people don't think about, when I'm riding in sub-freezing temperatures, and you've got these big oven mitts on for gloves, it's hard to shift, right? You don't have to worry about that with a single speed. You just hold on to those bars, you grip them, and you get your ride in. That's another thing to think about. This is one of the perfect tools for winter riding. I'm also a big proponent, as many people are. Your training regimen needs to change constantly. You do need to have these building periods and specialization periods, of course. But for me, whenever it comes to winter riding, you're really just trying to get in these base miles. You take some time off the bike, get your testosterone back up after a year's hard effort. And single speed riding is a great way to keep warm for one, but just to kind of change up the cadence, the speed, the pace, the effort that you're getting used to and adapted to. It will change that up. Lastly, let's touch on the topic of what single speed I'm riding, why I'm riding it, and what it has to do with the 2023 season. My steed of choice for the 2023 season is none other than a Niner Air 9. It is all aluminum with freshly built carbon whiskey rims laced up to DT Swiss hubs, done by the world-renowned wheel builder Keith. It's got crappy SRAM level brakes, and which I'm going to be changing out, and a Shimano alfine singulator. Honestly, went with the alfine because it was what's available. Actually, come to think of it, that's the entire reason I got everything on this bike, because it was what was available. For an aluminum hardtail though, I didn't know a ton about it. It actually rides great. It climbs really, really good. And it is fairly light for what it is. I think right now I've got it down to about 23.5, 24 pounds. So look for a full review in the near-ish future once I get a few more rides on this thing. And then lastly, why did I buy a single speed? Because I had so much fun last year racing single speed at the beginning of the year. So my goals this year, I want to definitely get a sub-6 time at ORAM. I know I can do it, I just have to keep training. At least this year, I'm not moving into a new house and dealing with that. And so knock on wood, as long as I'm healthy, I really want to tackle the Triple Crown of Pisgah. That's my big 3 goals. With that being said, I've got to intersperse some good hard races, sprinkle them in between those 3. I'm doing the short track, of course. I'm entering the single speed category for that. But then some Cane Creek Cup races. I'm gonna keep trucking with the Orbea Oys as my main race steed with gears, but that Air 9, I'm excited to see what it does out there in the short track series, which is coming up in a few weeks. So just to sum it all up, when I was a kid and I was 18 or 19 years old, the single speed bike, when I started fooling around with was one of the biggest jumps in skill and fitness points in my life. It really pushes you every single ride. You're not gonna have an easy ride on a single speed. It really teaches you how to have better skills to keep speed, to keep momentum up, and then that all translates to the geared bike. I've never had a coach. I do all my training plans, all of my skill work is pretty much all from riding with other people that are better than me and asking questions, of course, and riding this single speed. So I hope that helps somebody. If you can borrow one or just leave your bike in a single gear and see what you think out there, it's definitely more difficult, but it is very fun. I love you all. I will see you in the next video. That's all I got for you. Bye-bye.